Hey, WATCH, this is Jessica Tapia. I'm excited to introduce to you our guest today, Harrison Tinsley. Before I do that, I want to remind you to like, share, and subscribe. So let's go ahead and tune into him now, and we'll chat about, first and foremost, how we got connected. Hey, Harrison.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm good. I bet you're a little tired from being at the Capitol yesterday.
It was a long day, but it was amazing.
It looked like it. So last week, you and I met, and the second I saw you, I recognized you because your story has been all over the place. But I didn't quite know it yet. I knew it had to do something with your son. And so on my way home from where we met, I listened to a podcast that you did with Ali Stuckey, and I basically cried all the way home. So I'm excited to have you on, and I'd love for you to share with our guests what your story is. What are you battling right now?
Well, thank you for listening to it. It means so much to me that it touched you enough, to bring you that sort of emotion. That's incredible. And well, my story starts a few years back. I met a girl in the Bay Area, and we sang each other some songs, and we ended up dating and falling in love. And shortly into our relationship, she got pregnant, and we were both ecstatic about that, which was wonderful. We never agreed politically, and I always thought that it didn't matter. It was just something we disagree on, and still could have a beautiful family, and everything could be wonderful. And as her pregnancy went on, I started getting a lot of vitriol and hostility towards me, constant threats of not seeing my son. My son's mom has a lot of amazing qualities. I used to spend so much time with her and laugh with her, and all the great stuff. But unfortunately, she has some really serious mental illness problems, and basically I started getting threats constantly that I wouldn't see my son if I wasn't exactly who she wanted me to be. A lot of stuff having to do with politics, and it was really hard, but it was okay. I still pushed through it, but it got to a point where she broke up with me and sent me a cease and desist letter, and basically I respected that. And so I didn't know when my son was born, and I found out about a week after from someone on social media showing me. I was heartbroken, but I figured out what to do, and I filed in court 2 months later. And then it took 13 more months just for me to meet my son. So I finally got to meet him at 15 months old. Those 15 months were terrible, but they made me a stronger person to be a better dad for him. Mm-hmm. And I like to hold on to the hope that things happen for a reason. And now I appreciate my time with him so much.
Amen.
When I have him now, I spend every second with him. But so 15 months, I finally meet him. I started visiting with him. It was heavenly. And I pushed on. I ended up moving to the Bay Area. I had been in Tahoe. And when I moved, I was awarded half custody rather quickly, which I was super grateful for. Mm-hmm. And I started half custody, which was just the biggest blessing of my life, being with Sawyer all that time. And then some things started to transpire that weren't so great. His mom started to defame me pretty heinously on social media. And she started to put my son in dresses and makeup and call him non-binary. My son's mother was arrested for child endangerment and placed on a 5150 hold while he was with her. And that was all really scary stuff.
So at that point you had, sorry to cut you off. So at that point you had 50-50 custody. So then these things start coming about. What are you thinking? What are you feeling at that point? I'm assuming you probably no longer have peace with that 50-50 custody, knowing that the time your son isn't with you, he is being exposed and in the face of threats and danger. Talk to us about what that was like.
It's scary. It makes it harder to sleep at night. You feel feelings of anxiety and sadness and worry. You do your best to get through that, whether it's with music or exercise,
right,
or whatever you got to do. And then you just, when you're with him, you do everything you can to make it the safest, most amazing experience for him in the world. And let him know that he's loved and protected no matter what. And that he's a boy, and he's always going to be a boy no matter what he's wearing, no matter what anyone says to him. Mm-hmm. And my son's fully aware he's a boy. He tells that to anyone who asks him adamantly. Mm-hmm. And if you say anything to the contrary or give him too girly of a toy, he'll yell and scream at you. I'm not a girl, I'm a boy. So none of that's working. And I don't understand, because if the premise is, if I'm not mistaken, that, oh, we should let the kids choose. I radically disagree with that premise, but if that's your premise,
Right.
my son has chosen. So I don't understand why this isn't over. That's what I don't understand. But so yeah, so I have half custody, and there's some defamation and some arrest, and I got a restraining order on his mom for harassment and defamation, and there was a lot of stuff, and I ended up getting granted a 5-day court trial, which is a really long time in family court. Most people just get a hearing and their whole custody and visitation is decided, and that's 20 to 30 minutes. So I was very fortunate, and I felt super confident. I had so much evidence, overwhelming, over 850 pages, witnesses, police officers, all this stuff, and to very little on the other side. And after the trial, though, the court decided to keep custody the same, and that they would not rule on the gender stuff, that my son would have to continue to see the doctor that the mom preferred, which was a doctor who's okay with treating kids non-binary, and said on the witness stand that she transitions kids as young as 12. And so just not the best ruling, not what I was hoping for. I was kind of devastated at first, but I was just like, okay, if the court's not going to protect my son, I'm going to do it. I'm going to speak out, and I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to, I'm going to be vulnerable, and I'm going to tell my story and see if I can't rally people to start protecting children, to change some laws, to spread awareness, because so many people, everyone rather, is against this that I know. Every Democrat in the Bay Area where I live is against this. It's not a right or left issue. It's a parents' right issue. It's a common sense issue. And
yeah, the one
really just need to rally together.
Thing you would think we could all come together on is the protection of children. But
exactly.
even with that, we can't seem to all get our facts straight. And fact of the matter is, God created male and female, and your little boy is a boy. And so, correct me if I'm wrong, his mother says he's non-binary, or his mother is trying to transition him into a girl as a 3-year-old boy. What exactly is happening there with his mom?
Well, I don't exactly know, because I don't know what goes on when he's with her, but as far as I know, she herself claims to be non-binary now, and tries to say that he is. She's constantly calling him they, and sometimes putting girly things on him. Not as much lately, or maybe that's just not that I've seen, thankfully. But yeah, I mean, it's scary stuff. But as I said, it's not working. My son's a strong-minded rebel like me, and has no interest in it.
Well, he has a great father and role model to look up to as you fight for him. So what is your overall goal and fight in this for your son?
I want to make sure he's happy with who he is. I want to teach him to be a strong man, to have good values, to love the people around him, and to be a leader, and to just be the best he can be, and to know that he's loved and protected by me always. I want to try to get more custody of him, so I can make sure he has a safe, wonderful environment. And I want to help change some of the legislation in California that's anti-parent, anti-kid, anti-family. Yes. I don't want this to happen to anybody. Kids aren't rational enough to make these life-altering decisions that can really affect them forever. I think that we're at a moment in history where we need to draw a line in the sand and say no more. You will not take our kids. You will not hurt them. This is it. People out of the compassion of their heart, not wanting to make anyone upset or sad, went along with this. We tried it. We cannot do that anymore. Too many people have been hurt, and it will not happen anymore.
Amen. Yeah, we put feelings first, and facts and truth need to be first. And so now we're kind of working to really bring that to the forefront. So you and I really connected because we both have stories around this gender madness that's happening. And I know personally in my own story, this has just strengthened my walk with the Lord and my fire to just, dig into the truth and share it. So talk to us about maybe what your faith looked like before this all happened and what it looks like now.
So I've always been a Christian. I grew up that way. I even went to church and church camp by myself, starting in high school, got myself baptized. My family was always just generally like default Christian and all wonderful. We would always pray before our family meals and, but just not super devout or anything, which is okay. My parents did an absolutely great job raising our family. And this all happening and the amount of impact my story has had on people and the amount of love and support and prayers I've gotten has been so overwhelming and unbelievably spectacular that it's brought me closer to God. And it's just been the most amazing journey. I get all these messages and things from people, and it's like, I obviously I have a duty to be the best dad I can be and do everything I can for my son. And I'll always follow that duty. But it's like beyond that, even as I say, it's about other people's kids. Like, all these people look up to me now, and I'm not going to let them down.
Yes. I was just talking to someone about how it literally just takes one person standing up, speaking out, sharing the truth, and the ripple effect that one person can have, we literally cannot fathom it. And that is exactly how faith works. We put our hope and belief in what we can't see, right? You can't see how this is going to play out, but you are keeping your hope and belief in the fact that God's got this. And if you continue fighting for and focusing on what's good, right, and true for your son and for his safety and for his protection, you know that God is going to protect you and bring you the support that you need and bring you the love that you need. And it's been incredible to watch on my end. I know we just met last week, but I've seen several of your interviews now, and it's so cool to see the Lord working in your life so similarly as he has in mine when I shared my testimony. So Harrison, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing a bit of your story. And is there just any specific prayer requests that you have that we can be lifting you up in prayer for?
Say a prayer every day, and I just say what I'm thankful for. And I always ask God to protect my son when he's not with me. So I'd ask everyone to pray for Sawyer's protection.
Amen. We will definitely be doing that. Well, thank you again for coming on. We'll be praying for you, and God bless you, Harrison.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
All right, our watch, that is a wrap. I know that was a heavy one, but this is the reality of what is happening today, why we need to speak out against bad bills and legislation in California, and why we need to rally around our fellow believers, because everyone is going through something. So thank you for tuning in today. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you back next time.